Hi everyone, welcome to Visa Pathfinders. My name is Peter Olubayo. I know that a lot of you are wondering about when the turmoil in the UK immigration will be over. In fact, while opinion makers believe that the end is still far ahead, at least for those of you deciding to come to the UK, I believe that today's video will answer the questions on your mind. When the UK government announced visa changes last year, with most to take effect in spring 2024, we all thought that it would be by April, but surprisingly, the new restrictions and new minimum wage threshold for foreign workers will come into full force within weeks. The Home Secretary announced on Tuesday 30th of January 2024. If you remember that the government in December said that there will be a wave of new restrictions on people coming to Britain and their family members in a bid to bring down the legal immigration. This included significantly hiking the minimum wage needed to obtain a visa, and on Tuesday, 30th of January, the Home Office announced. Firstly, the reforms to restrict care workers from bringing family members to the UK will come into full force on March 11, 2024. As I've said earlier on this channel, this restriction does not affect nurses and doctors, but rather it affects care assistants and home care workers, that is the short occupation code 6145, and senior care workers with the job code 6146. Also, those already in the route will be able to remain with their dependent, including extending, changing employers within these shortage occupation codes and settlement. Also, where a care worker or senior care worker is in the route before the immigration rule changes by March 11 but has not yet brought their dependent, they will be allowed to bring dependent during their sponsorship on the same visa. Now, importantly, individuals who are in the UK or on any other routes like student visa, including where that route permits to bring in their dependent and then switch into the care visa as a care worker or senior carer after March 11, will not be able to stay with or bring over their dependents. Secondly, the measures requiring care providers to register with the Care Quality Commission in England if they are sponsoring migrants will start on the same date, that is March 11th, 2024. Now, these two reforms implies that if you're still in the process of coming into the UK as a care assistant, home care workers, or any of the 6 job titles in the occupation code 6145, or as a senior carer, occupation code 6146. Now, if you have a job offer already, you have the dependent to bring into the UK, you might want to advise your employer to fast track the release of your certificate of sponsorship. We then help you to apply for your visa before March 11th. Now, up until March 11th, every immigration rule remains the same. So even if you put in your application by March 10th, and let's say you get the decision on your application by March 10th, now you will still be able to bring in your dependent, but anything after that means that you will not be able to come in or bring over your dependent. The third date announced is when they aim to increase the minimum salary required for those arriving on a skilled worker visa from £26,200 to £38,700. This, according to the government, will start April 4th, 2024. So if you have a job offer, as I mentioned earlier, with a UK employer offering you less than £38,700, you might also want to advise them to release your certificate of sponsorship as soon as possible so that you can apply for your visa before April 4th. Except you are employed under the health and care visa or as a teacher being paid on the national pay scale occupations. Okay, so let's put it this way. Let's say you already have a job offer offering you below £38,700 from a UK employer as at today. What you can do in order not to be denied visa is to ensure that your employer fast track your COS application, which we call the certificate of sponsorship, which you then attach to your visa application. So in as much as you apply for your visa before this date, application will be considered based on the current rule. All right. Lastly, the minimum income threshold for those bringing dependents to the UK on a family visa will increase in stages, and the government has confirmed the starting date as April 11, 2024. Now, if you remember that the proposal sparked backlash when they were first announced by the Home Secretary James Cleverly last year, it was argued that many British people working in professional jobs such as teachers, police officers, and junior doctors would be unable to meet the bar in order to bring their loved one to live with them from abroad under the salary restrictions. Now, therefore, from this date, that is April 11th, workers will need to be earning at least 29,000 a year to bring a family member from abroad, which was up from 18,600. Now, however, there is no date yet for when the threshold will rise beyond 29,000 to meet the same bar of 38,700 like those of the foreign workers has been announced by the government. These reforms, according to the government, the British people want to see action, not words. Therefore, this is a firm approach but a fair one, and gives those affected time to prepare while ensuring that migration calms down. It comes as new figures suggested that the UK population could reach nearly 74 million by 2036, which is like 12 years away, up from the latest estimate of 67 million. That is a estimated difference of 7 million. Alright guys, so at the end of the day, the UK government is responsible of taking care of its populace. Whether this measure is fair or not, you know how it is. Anyway, I wish you all the very best, and don't forget that at Visa Pathfinders, it is our pleasure, yes, pleasure to be part of your success story. So as we've said in this video, put in your application quickly before this date if you really think that will help to enhance the acceptance of your visa application. See you later. Bye.